Hello and welcome to the Wake Up Podcast. I am Ben Kaysen, your host, here with JRod, our videographer here at Wake Up Pueblo. Jerod, thank you so much for coming in.
What's up, guys? That was just weird because I felt like I was just listening to a podcast.
You are listening to a podcast.
Been talking to me.
Thank you so much for coming in, man. You're like, one of the later ones are getting on this list. And you were just like, hey, why haven't you got me in yet? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Let's get you in right now.
No. You've been trying to get me in. Ben's been trying to get me in, but I've been doing school and I just got finals done last week. So
and how'd they go?
Now's the time. It was good.
Congrats.
So don't have to worry about that. So on to the next thing.
Heck yeah. You're one of the many students here at CSUP. I think Mia and Meredith are doing school this semester.
Yeah.
Paige. Mm-hmm. How is that balancing school and, working at Wake Up?
It's a thing, man.
It's a thing.
It's funny because when I started, I wanted to be part-time, and I told them I could kind of just be part-time.
Yeah.
They said that was fine, but when I got here, you just got to get stuff done. So like part-time, full-time, it's kind of the same thing. You got to get your stuff done. So, part-time isn't super part-time, but either way, balancing work and school, it's difficult, but it's a good challenge, and it's grind season. So
it's grind season. Heck yeah, every day's grind season around here. Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, whenever I came into Wake Up, I was originally also part-time. Sure. But just the work kept going up, and just the hours come up with it, right? Because you're just doing a lot of work. So especially for you guys, you're a really talented videographer, part of our videographer team. Is that your official title, just videographer? Do you have an official title?
This is a funny conversation, actually. I had this conversation with Tyler and Chavez last week.
Okay.
And they're like our program directors here.
Yeah.
And super cool guys. I'm like their little kid, low key. I call them my production dads. So it's a good time. Anyway, what was I asking?
Well, to talk about your title.
Oh, so last week I made a video with me in it, and I put videographer under Wake Up Pueblo.
Nice.
And Tyler's like, you got to change that to content creator because we got to have a standard. And if you're taking pictures, then you're not a videographer. And I was like,
there you go.
Interesting.
You do some graphic stuff as well for me, right? I mean, you do a lot of stuff.
This is true. So I make the Wake Up Pueblo podcast graphics, and I fill them whenever they need anything.
Yeah, dude, I love it. Which one do you like better, videographer or content creator?
I don't know. I don't really care, honestly.
Nice.
It doesn't make much of a difference to me, but it's just a thing,
That's sweet. And that's your kind of official title, but let's talk about your maybe unofficial title. You're called JRod here at work. Your actual name's Jerod Young. You go by JRod.
This is true.
Can you tell me the story behind that?
So it's a funny story. So originally when I came in for my original interview, that's a long story too. We'll probably get into that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, I came in the interview, and Jenny was a big fan of me. And after talking for 5 minutes, she was like, "Can I call you JRod?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" Because my parents and my family call me JRod growing up. That's just how it was. That's what I was used to,
Yeah.
Now so much, not a lot of people call me that anymore. But I was like, sure, why not? Go for it. And since that interview, every day, Jenny has never called me Jerod, not once. And everybody else just kind of caught on with JRod, and I don't mind it. It's cool. So,
dude, I think you got the better nickname for Jenny than I did. Mine is Benny Boo Boo. So, you got a better one than I did.
That's funny.
But I like it, though.
That's great.
So let's talk about, some of the work that you do. Obviously, you've got a big TikTok that you've got going. Where can they find your TikTok at? Let's talk about that.
So you guys can find me on TikTok at JaredYoung52.
Okay.
TikTok's, it's a thing.
Yeah, let's talk about that. TikTok, obviously, relatively new. I know you came into it over quarantine, right? Is that where you started?
So TikTok's interesting because apparently it's been around for a while. It used to be called Musical.ly and a bunch of other stuff, and it was mostly a program or a platform for dancers and that type of entertainers.
Yeah.
But then when quarantine hit, it seemed like everybody else just kind of hopped onto it because they didn't have anything else to do. So I don't know the stats on TikTok, but I bet there was millions of downloads, billions of downloads probably just through quarantine. And I hopped on TikTok right when quarantine hit as well. I had some time on my hands, so I just decided to start making cool videos. A couple friends of mine were like, yo, you should make cool TikToks because we're making TikToks and they get no views, but you make cool videos, so it would definitely get views.
Yeah.
Type thing. And I got some views on there.
Yeah, you do got some views on there. Yeah, tell me about that. What's that been like? So where's your What was the idea for your content? Because I know you do a lot of different stuff. Like you do a lot of like objects cinematically and, a lot of really cool things. Where do those ideas come from?
Yeah. So for me, TikTok was like when COVID hit, I had a lot of time on my hands and I really wasn't doing a lot. Yeah. So I found myself playing with my camera and over the last years, I've been making like YouTube videos, just fun stuff. But I figured, what could I do short content wise? So I challenged myself to make like a video every day. That was my challenge.
Okay.
And it didn't really matter what it was, but I just wanted to make a video every day. So originally that started off with TikToks. I would just make edits of old YouTube videos I had. And I would upload those, and they really wouldn't get a lot of views, but like, who cares? It's just
for fun,
practicing, and bettering my skills. And then then I finally came up with this idea that kind of like made me, I guess, pop me off in a sense.
Yeah.
I had this idea to take random objects and make them cinematic. And if you don't know, cinematic is like a word that they use in like when the movies and the film industry and all that. It's simply put as to make something look more special than it normally is, to make something look magical and something that's not something we normally see with our own eyes. So I would do that by making things slow motion and throwing things in the air in cool ways and whatnot. I remember my first video, I sat down and recorded myself, and I called my sister and I said, while I was recording, I said, "Hey, I have this idea to make an object cinematic. What should I make cinematic?" And she said, "A banana." And that was my first video. And it got like 4,000 views in like a week. And like on TikTok, I only had like 100 followers. So that was like super crazy for me. So then, and the cool thing about making things cinematic is people really liked it and it was super interactive. So I'd put a caption on each post and say, what object should I make next cinematic? And if you were lucky, I would have picked your object that you wrote down in the comments. So whether that's a toothbrush or what are other objects? I made fire cinematic. I made food cinematic.
What was the hardest one that you've had to do?
Oh, man, on the spot. Let me think. A pin. A pin was really hard. I don't know why. It was just like finding what to do with it. A pin was hard. But the pin video I made also got a lot of views. So I did this thing on the pin video at the very end. And I got these friction ballpoint pins, and they erase with friction. Back of it.
I think I've seen those. Yeah.
And I wrote down like the word share on it, and then I put like a lighter under it, and like under the paper, and the paper and the heat of the lighter made the ink disappear.
Oh, cool.
So it was like a little trick inside of a trick. So that was pretty cool to play with. But each of the different cinematic videos I've done, they're all just like a little different. They each have a little different variation just because I liked playing around with stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there was like a particular like harder one,
Yeah.
like the one that stands out.
That's cool. So obviously you were into video before you got into TikTok, correct? You've already done video before that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I asked Tyler this. Why did you pick up a camera? What's the story behind that?
Cool. So crazy story actually. So growing up, just like anybody, my family recorded stuff. So we had like family videos, home videos that we watched, and I enjoyed those obviously. But I wasn't a huge fan of video. Through middle school, I played sports, and then in high school, I decided to quit sports because I really didn't like running.
Yeah.
So what happened was that I had a friend, and we started doing magic tricks. We started doing card tricks.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for some reason, we just thought it'd be fun. So we'd go and we each got a deck of cards, and we learned these like mathematical tricks that we learned on YouTube, and like meet up every week and show each other. And then before too long, I got into like the actual sleight of hand of magic tricks. And it was more of a fidget for me because like, I don't know, I'm a fidgeter, so I always need something to do.
Yeah.
And cards kind of just like, I was always playing with cards, shuffling cards, doing something with cards. Anyway, through that, I started recording these card tricks that I was doing and posting them on Instagram. Also, during that same time, I was a big fan of YouTube, so I watched a lot of vloggers and that type of content.
Yeah.
So me and my siblings, we decided to make our own vlog channel.
Cool.
We called it the Youngsters because we're youngs. It's pretty clever. It was pretty clever.
That is clever.
Yeah.
I love that.
So we started recording just our everyday lives with our phones and try to make it seem cool. And that wasn't like cinematic at all, but it was more just like making memories.
Yeah, just fun. Like
it's funny too, because I look back at those videos and I'm like, oh man, why did my parents let me put this out? This is so embarrassing. Like, what was I thinking? But yeah, so I just started making videos, and my brothers weren't interested in like the editing process, so I got a computer, and I really wanted to learn how to edit videos too.
Yeah.
So both the magic tricks and the YouTube inspiration kind of led to me starting to make videos. And before too long, I just kind of fell in love with the camera and photography and all that stuff too.
Cool. I didn't know that you did magic tricks actually.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any just like that you could do with, well, I guess there's not any cards here, but like, dang, I got to make you do that at some point.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We'll do that.
We'll do something. I like
do
that
for sure. We went to a magic shop last week and filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I showed Chavez one, and he was losing his mind. It was pretty funny. It was pretty
He was
funny.
losing his mind.
I'll have to show you one after this.
Dude, that's sweet. That's perfect. That's so cool. So yeah, I mean, like you go through this process then of moving into video, and you're doing your own video, and then is that when it shifted to TikTok, or was there a shift before that from your magic tricks and vlogs to TikTok? Was there something in between?
So yes and no. I feel like while I was making videos, I mean, every year I made videos, the quality improved, obviously.
Yeah.
And it became less about just like showing someone a cool magic trick and trying to like prove myself, make myself seem cool.
Yeah.
And more about making memories. So whenever I would go out with friends, I would take my camera and we'd record something. Or whenever I went over to my friend's house, we'd record something. Yeah, so I guess there wasn't that much of a change. It was just like a consistent flow of just creating, you know?
Gotcha. So you go through this whole process then, video-wise.
Yeah.
You're now doing TikToks over the summer. How does that story transition into Wake Up Pueblo? What does that look like? Because I know Mia saw your TikTok, right?
Sure. So I can actually let me elaborate a little more before.
Yeah,
so
perfect. Let's do it.
Summer of 2019, I got the job as a video producer at a summer camp.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I kind of went full-time video for the first time. Before that, I done like a couple freelance opportunities, but really nothing.
Gotcha.
Then I worked this camp. The camp's called Fuge Camps. I went over, they shipped me over to Alabama, and I was there for 2 months. Wow. And I was making videos every day. And that place, I'm so thankful for that job because it really taught me how to turn around videos very quickly. Because I would record videos that day, edit it that night, and then show it the next morning. And it was a grind, man. It was the hardest job I ever worked, but it was so rewarding. It was just so fun just to run around with the students all day, you know?
Yeah.
So I bettered my skills a lot through that. And then I got back and I started getting more freelance opportunities. So be that real estate, weddings, photography, senior pictures, all that type of stuff. I didn't do a whole lot of that. So I was doing that stuff. I was focusing on that. And then COVID hit. And with COVID, I mean, obviously we're all in our houses now.
Yeah.
So like I said, I was bored. So I decided to make TikToks. I decided to make short form content videos just because why not? And the funny thing about this is through the summer, through COVID, I think I made like 50 videos, like 50 short videos. And at the time, I didn't see it as like a business opportunity. I just wanted to try new things.
Yeah.
But now looking back at it, it's that saturation of content that really got me the job here. And so like you said, so after probably the summer was about over, August, I want to say, Mia reached out to me on Instagram because she saw my videos and was like, hey, come in for an interview. And at the time, I really wasn't interested, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I had a job at Pueblo Community College where I go to school. And I was actually doing some marketing stuff for them. So I was making some tour videos. I was making some ambassador videos, which is where I was working in that department area.
Yeah.
So at the time, I really wasn't interested, but I was like, I mean, I'm never going to turn down a good opportunity kind of thing. Yeah. And I kind of thought it was fake because like,
really,
especially like when I started getting views on TikTok. So in case you guys don't know, I have like 500,000 views on TikTok. Once I started getting
not a big
views,
deal. It's just 500,000.
Well,
what a stud.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm not even going to argue with you.
No, it's huge.
It's pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
So when that was all happening, I started getting like people reaching out to me on like Instagram and stuff, like DM me, say, hey, we should film together sometime. Hey, I had a dude send me a deck of cards to video. I had some other guys send me some different products to video and other stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of weird because I never really experienced that. So when Mia reached out, I was like, oh, it's just another person
it's just another promoter.
Yeah, like I didn't even know. And Mia was funny because like she doesn't look like a marketing agency at all. It's just like her personal account. So I was like, who the heck is this person? So I like checked her out and saw that she lived in Pueblo and she knew Tyler. So I was like, oh, so she must be involved somewhere around here. Yeah. So I was like, hey, why not go in for an interview?
Yeah. Come check it out. So what did you think then whenever you came in for the interview? What was that process like?
So it was funny when I went in for the interview. I really didn't tell a lot of people because I wanted to get anybody's hopes up, really.
Like so your family and like
yeah, I really didn't tell any friends. I told my mom, and that was about it. I came in for the interview just after work one day after I got out of school, and it was so funny because I got here and I was like, "This place is real."
It's not a scam.
Because she was like talking about how we're starting this marketing agency and all this stuff, and I was expecting to go to like a little like office area or something, Yeah. But it was like this really cool like old building in Pueblo, and they were remodeling the whole thing, and I was like, "Yo, this is super cool." It's a funny thing because my family flips houses. Yeah. So whenever I see like people like remodeling stuff, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like this. This is cool. And it's not like we're like tearing down the old building and making up a new supermarket or something. We're like refinishing everything, and it still has that Pueblo character. Yeah. Yeah. So I was super like super interested in like the building in a sense, and just meeting Matt and Jenny and seeing like how excited they were. Yeah. For this project. Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, like I get that because I also. Not that I wasn't sure about how legit it was, but like when I came in for my interview, I wasn't sure what I was expecting either. Like I get that. Like I was thinking like it was gonna be like a little like 4 cubicle office, and it would come in and be like, oh, okay, you guys trying to do a marketing agency, but then you come in this building just like catches you off guard. I mean, it's like so big and so well done, and then obviously all you guys are down there. I think you were here for my interview. Here's the thing, Jerod. The first probably 2 or 3 weeks we were working together, I had so much deja vu seeing you. Because we've got this like connection from a long time ago. Like one of our friends is like a mutual friend, so we've seen each other when we were like middle school. But I had forgotten about that, so I like came in for that interview and I saw you over there, and I was like, "Who's that guy?" I was like, "I recognize that guy," and I was like, "Oh, I get whatever." And did my interview, and like Mia's super nice, and Meredith. I knew Meredith from before, but like the same thing where I like came out of my interview with Matt and he was talking about how excited he was to wake up, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. But
that's so funny that you say that because like I saw you and I didn't like. Well, also you guys got to know that Ben came to his interview all dressed up, man. This man was in slacks,
I did dress up,
shirt and everything, and so I didn't like recognize you. But then like probably a month later, we were at like a community like church event. Yeah, you said something and I was like, yo. No way. It's funny. It's funny.
Dude, just small world. It's a small world like that. Yeah, I mean, like it's funny. You think little Ben and Jerod are like hanging out in 6th grade. Now we don't even remember it. Yeah, and now we're good to go. Exactly. But that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. So now that you're into Wake Up, what are you thinking about it so far?
I'm loving it. And it's super interesting because my whole life, and especially over the last like 2 years, I've been at the point where I think I would love to make video and like that type of stuff a career. Yeah. But I was just waiting for opportunities. Sure. And this just kind of fell in my lap. And it's crazy to say that, like, I mean, growing up, we always like, your parents always tell you, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. But it's weird because sometimes I don't want to go home. Like I really love the atmosphere here and making videos. And some videos aren't as fun as others, obviously. But it's a really cool place and I'm really happy where I'm at. Yeah.
That's great. And, we're really excited to have you on the team, man. I mean, you're like so talented. You blew me away. You blow me away all the time when I see your videos. But what was it? 3 weeks ago, you were like, hey, I've got my reel done. Ben, you want to come look at this? And I was like, yeah, sure, man. And I looked at it and I was like, I got blown out of the water. like his video like has these cool swooshes and like all these great shots. And
man.
You're so talented. And it's just, I feel like whenever we're talking about in the production room, right? Whenever I'm in there with all you guys, I think it's a really good thing. But I feel like, I might be the least talented person in there. And that's great. I love that. Like for real.
I think you guys say that on every podcast, don't you?
I say that a couple times. Got flatter everyone. Yeah, I mean, but for real though, like the stuff that you do is just incredible. I'm impressed.
I really appreciate that. I think I want to elaborate on that a little more because I think it's super interesting the crew we have here. Yeah. Because like you were just mentioning, we made our reels for the website, just so you guys know. If you go to the website
coming soon
and you go click on whoever's name, then you can see a piece of their work pretty much. And I made mine, and then I saw Tyler made his and Chavez made his. And it was super interesting because they both saw mine and they were like, yo, this isn't fair. They love my video. And I was like, no, don't say that because I'm not good at all. And then I went and saw Tyler's reel and Chavez's reel, and it was so different than mine. It was so interesting because Chavez has done a lot of different films, a lot of music.
Very cinematic, yeah.
And it was so different how it was put together than mine. And same with Tyler. Tyler's done a lot of work just all over the place type situation.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting to see how each of our reels were so different from each other. But at the same time, they also liked mine and I loved theirs, you know?
Yeah.
It's just cool that we got a whole bunch of different minds in the same area and working together.
Yeah. And like, how's that been? Obviously a lot of creative people, you know, trying to go through the process with each business that's come through. How's that process been to, you know, connect with the different videographers that may have taken different video in the past?
I love it. And it's really helpful to me because I don't have the best ideas all the time. So it works out when Tyler has a really good idea of like, yeah, that's a great idea. I've never been in an area where the brainstorming is so much, you know? I've always just made videos by myself or with my friends, and it was always normally me coming up with the ideas, honestly. Sure. Or just stealing other people's ideas.
Nice. Hey, there you go.
Hey, that's how you get views.
That's what happens.
But yeah, it's really dynamic. It's really cool.
That's cool. Yeah. And so, Jerod, you're a Pueblo guy, right? You've been in Pueblo your whole life?
This is true. It's all I've known.
This is true. All I know. And so what are your thoughts on Wake Up Pueblo's like mission here in Pueblo and, you know, that part of the business?
I think it's very interesting because growing up, I mean, Pueblo's kind of the armpit of Colorado. It's kind of like, it is what it is, you know? And growing up here, I didn't have a problem with Pueblo. I don't have a problem with Pueblo at all. I love Pueblo. Yeah. But it's kind of just all I've ever known. And I knew that once I started doing filming stuff that I probably wasn't going to be able to stay here. Yeah. If I wanted opportunities, if I wanted to pursue those, I was going to need to go to LA or something. But now that this opportunity fell in my lap, it's really cool that Matt and Ginny are providing those opportunities here locally. Just because, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Pueblo. Like it's kind of just old school, low key. But I like that there's still other people like me that are passionate about this area and really want to better the area.
Yeah. Man, I agree completely with that. I mean, I know I talked about this a lot in the podcast I did with Mia, but, you know, just when it comes to podcasting and, you know, my side of what I do, there's not a lot of opportunities for that in Pueblo, right? I mean, at that point, it's funny, I mean, like whenever I was applying for jobs in that stage and I was like looking for those jobs, it was like the only media job in Pueblo was like a teacher at PCC. Everything else was like there's nothing else in Pueblo. And so, I mean, this thing just, like you said, just kind of came up, and it's, you know, just great to see, you know, a spot that a lot of the creatives in Pueblo can come together, and I love it.
It's funny too, because like, I didn't know there were creatives in Pueblo. Like even through like college, like my professors and stuff, they're kind of old school. They don't really like know what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing something so different. Like they like it, but it's like something that isn't standard, you know, like I remember, so this semester I had a video editing class, which was pretty funny because I knew, I mean, I'm not bashing on the teacher. He was a great teacher, but I knew a lot in that class. Yeah. Just because you've
been doing it for 3 years.
I was familiar with the software, you know, so like it was easy for me. But it was funny. And I remember him saying that for a TV, 30 frames per second video was the standard. And I was like, I shoot everything in 24 frames per second. So in case you guys don't know, films are shot in 24 frames per second and like commercials are shot in 30 frames per second. So I remember him coming in and saying that, and I was like, man, this guy's real old school. It's pretty funny.
So you just finished up school this semester. What's your plan? Are you going to keep doing school as you keep working here at Wake Up?
So I recently just graduated from PCC. I just got my associate degree.
Congrats, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
And I mean, a semester ago, the plan was to go to CSUP, transfer over there because I have a direct transfer of a degree to get a bachelor in mass comm. Yeah. So right now I've decided I'm going to take a break at least for this semester and go full time at Wake Up and see what opportunities are in store.
Love it.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, so also I'm kind of at the point where I'm kind of like, I want to break from school, if that makes sense. I mean, school's fine and school's good, but I'm not a book nerd. You know, so I'm not going to do school the rest of my life.
Learn hands-on, right? You're one of those kind of guys.
I'm such a visual learner, such a hands-on learner. So if you want to explain to me how something is done, I might not get it, but if you show me how it's done, I can do it 4 times again,
Do it 4 times again.
I don't know.
I like it.
My head.
I like it. That's great. So, what else do you like? Are you connected with here in Pueblo? Like, you've been here for a long time. I know you're connected with the church down there. What else is going on?
Yeah. So, I'm connected with the church a lot. I actually grew up here, and I was actually homeschooled growing up. So, I mean, I was expecting you to ask me the question of where I went to high school.
See, I already
that's
knew.
Your question.
I like to ask that, but I already knew. But yeah,
that was actually homeschooled growing up, which is actually interesting. My mom has her degree, so she just decided to homeschool me and my siblings, and I'm super grateful for that because it just kept me out of a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Also, I was able, because of that, just build really good relationships in the church. And yeah, so now I'm connected at the church. I serve in the student ministry. I also help with the technical stuff over there.
Yeah.
What else am I involved with? Honestly, not a lot now that Wake Up's happening.
That's a lot.
I feel like I'm here every day, low-key.
Yeah, same.
But I had my hand over in the school a lot. I was doing a lot of work for them.
Yeah.
I love PCC. It's a really good place. There's really good people over there. I'm super thankful for that too.
Yeah. Dude, that's great.
Yeah.
So what is kind of like something that someone who knows Jerod Young surface level doesn't know about Jerod Young? Like, what's something fun going on?
This is funny. So I wrote some notes up, and I haven't used them till this point.
All right, there you go.
I knew that question was coming, so I pulled out my notes just now.
Okay.
Wait for it.
I'm waiting.
I love bananas.
You love bananas.
Bananas are my favorite fruit, and I don't want to like flex on anybody, but I know I make great smoothies.
Oh, all right.
So I love smoothies, but we got like a blender thing at home. I forgot what the brand's name, but it's like one of the fancy ones. And I'll make smoothies like every other day, and you will never have a better smoothie, Ben.
Dude, you need to make me a smoothie now.
I'll make you a smoothie.
You're making me thirsty for a smoothie. I love bananas. So then was that a part? No, your sister just picked bananas randomly then for the first one?
Yeah.
Of your TikTok thing?
I don't know why she
That's
decided
funny.
to do that. We should interview her and ask why.
Little connection
I should
there.
just call her real quick. That's funny.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
so cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, what also just kind of like with all the video stuff that you've been doing, do you have like a favorite video that you've produced to this point? Do you have a favorite TikTok? Like, I know I'm putting you on the spot with that, but like,
Sure.
Is there a favorite piece of content that you've put out that you're really proud of right now?
So there's a few. So like 2 years ago, I made a video. My brothers went to Haiti, and they did a mission trip there with the church. And my brother just took my camera. I was like, just take my camera and just get all the footage you can.
Yeah.
And I remember we came up with a voiceover for the video and like produced this like 4-minute film type thing. And that was like one of the first like actual like films I tried to tell a really good story with.
Yeah.
And I remember everybody that saw that video loved it. And I remember my dad coming up to me after and he's like, this is the best video you've ever made. And it was just super cool to see that. So that was probably made in like 2018. So like that was one of my most favorite early on videos. Since then, okay, I got a really good one for you.
Give me one.
So TikTok has led to a few opportunities, and we're going sideways again.
That's okay.
But I had this guy that reached out to me on TikTok and was like, "Hey, I live in Gunnison, Colorado. I'm a student over here. I'm also a pilot, and I'm trying to get my pilot's license." And he said, "Would you want to go for a flight sometime?" And I said, "What?"
You were like,
I was like, "What?" And this dude like commented on one of my TikTok videos. So I started talking to him on like Snapchat and whatever. And I mean, he was a real dude. So I was kind of just like, sure, like why not? Like why would I say yes to this? But why not? And my parents thought I was getting kidnapped.
did they?
Yeah.
Get on the plane with him?
It was funny. So I asked if my brothers could come. So me and my brothers drove up there to Gunnison, and we stayed the night, and we went camping, and we went flying, and it was actually super cool. So we stayed in this like couple that he knows. He's really good friends with some people up there, and they have a really big house like on the side of a mountain. Crazy view. I made a video about it. You can go check it out. Jerod Young 52 on Instagram.
There you go.
Crazy views, but that was super cool. Just seeing like just meeting someone who was like-minded on the internet, and then like actually going and like doing something.
Yeah.
And then he reached out to me like probably back in August now. The first time was probably like in June or May. He reached out to me in August again and said, "Hey, do you want to go plane camping?"
What? Plane camping?
Plane camping.
What is that?
I know. And I was like, what the heck is that? So he explained how there was this runway in Marble, Colorado that's old and it's a private runway, and these people own it, and he got permission from the owners to land his plane there. So we came up with this plan. I drove out there. In the morning, we flew out to this area in Marble, and we just camped like on the runway in the grass under the plane wing. It was super cool.
Whoa.
I know, it's so crazy, right?
That's wild.
It was so cool. It was so cool. So like experiences like that, and I want to have more of those experiences. Like every time I talk to Tyler, he's always talking about like how he's traveled to like 23 countries, and I'm like, damn, I just want to do that. But I'm like too logically minded to where like I'm not actually gonna go do that.
Sure, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But yeah, those videos were really cool. I really enjoy those
cool.
videos. Yeah, and then recently, actually, we went to the health department here with Wake Up.
Yeah.
And we went and shot for the health department at the COVID testing site.
Yeah.
And Tyler pulled me aside and he's like, "Hey, just make COVID testing look cinematic." And I was like, "I could do that." So he kind of just left me there, and I was just doing my thing. Like, he didn't give me any boundaries at all.
Yeah.
It was super cool to like go full circle and like what brought me here and actually do that here.
Yeah.
So that was super fun.
And so is that one come out yet? The cinematic at the health department?
I don't think it's come out yet, but
Okay.
it's probably close.
Probably
it
close.
might be out.
Keep
by
your
then.
eye out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So,
dude, JRod, thank you so much for coming on the
of
podcast.
course, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, dude, you're a what we call a natural here at the podcast room.
It's funny
Come
because I
in,
was
turn on the
nervous to
mic.
get out here, man.
I don't know why. Why are you nervous for it?
Yeah,
no, you killed it.
questioned me. I was like, "We might make it to 15 minutes," and he's like, "Nah, you're fine.
You're fine. You're good. Thank you so much for coming on, man. We
Yeah, I
really
appreciate
appreciate you. And also, you know, he mentioned a couple of the other podcasts we've done. Like, if you want to hear more about the 23 countries Tyler has visited, go check out Tyler's podcast here at Wake Up Pueblo, as well as go check out Mia's podcast, Jacob's, you know, everybody's. Those are just a couple of names that came to the top of my head. We've been doing a podcast with everyone every week, and we're going to keep that going. Next week is our COO, Aaron, is going to come in and talk with us. Oh, COO. Get that going. So also be sure to check out, was it Jerod Young 52, Instagram and TikTok?
Yes.
Why 52? Let me ask you that.
So that's funny. So that goes back to my magic background. So
Yeah.
obviously on
52
Instagram,
cards.
Jerod Young is taken.
Yeah.
So I had to add some numbers behind it. And one of my favorite magicians, his name is Chrissy Ramsey. His Instagram handle is Chris Ramsey 52. And I was like, I'm just gonna steal that and just do Jerod Young 52.
Yeah.
And it kind of just stuck. At this point, I like have some followers, so I like don't want to change it. But
Yeah.
like, I would if like Jerod Young was available, but I don't know how to get that.
Yeah, not yet. You gotta get a little bit more.
I'm not the Ben Carson.
the real Ben Kaysen, dude. I got
Jason.
that one on everything. Yeah.
Dang, I just pronounced your name.
Oh,
wrong,
you're fine.
man.
You're
Dang,
good,
my
dude.
bad.
Dude,
Okay.
that's been my whole
It's
life.
about
You're
to kick
fine.
me off this podcast. This is the end of the podcast.
You're fine. Thank you for listening. Let's go ahead and quit. No, I'm just kidding. no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you, man. You're doing some great stuff. I can't wait to see all the rest of the stuff you do. It's great to sit at a desk next to you and see everything you're working on. Like, if I'm over there getting bogged down in editing, I'll look up and I'll see Jerod editing a video, and he's just like doing crazy stuff over there, and it's like, sweet, love that.
He makes me sound cooler than I actually am. But it's
No, I don't. You're cool.
We're going to stop arguing. That's the end of the podcast.
That's the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Wake Up Podcast. Have a great rest of your day.